Shalom, my name is Sasha Pekarik. I'm a rabbi in the Kushner High School.
And I'm Donnie Bank. I'm a freshman in RKYHS.
And today's week's Parsha is Parshat Vayigash. And Danny, what does it mean, Vayigash?
It means to approach or to come
So,
close.
exactly, and through this approach, I would like to explain to you what the word Chokhmah means. Since I was your age, more or less, I was totally fascinated by the word Chokhmah. In English, we translate the word Chokhmah by
By wisdom.
wisdom. Now, since that time when I was a young man as Danny, I learned few languages. I learned that Chokhmah also is Klugheit in German, or sagesse, sabedoria in Spanish, saggezza in Italian, Sophia in Greek, mądrość in Polish, and so on and so on. But I always wondered what really is the essence of this, what we call Chokhmah, of wisdom. And I would like to give you the illustration through this week's Parsha. Vayigash elav Yehuda. So we will take Midrash Rabbah that explains this word of approach. And Midrash picks up on the word Vayigash because there is right away a certain problem. What would you say is the problem?
I mean, he's already talking beforehand. So all of a sudden it says he approaches, but he already started speaking and approaching.
Correct. In other words, two psukim earlier, the Torah tells us that Yehuda is speaking to Yosef. So what is this approach? And it's fascinating to see that the Midrash will give us 5 different ways to understand this one word. First, Midrash starts that literally he approached him physically. In other words, that Yehuda walked over to the king, bowed to the king, and kissed his feet. So it was the uttermost sign of respect. But then the Midrash turns 180 degrees around and would say that Vayigash means to approach him as another king. You are a king, I am a king. So, but both these approaches, which are diametrically different, they really are talking about physical approach. Now Midrash says, well, as in English, to approach can be also in a very different way. And Midrash here uses the most beautiful quote that you can imagine from the Sefer Mishlei, which is the book of Proverbs. And there we read that tapuchei zahav b'maskiot kasev, which means that these are golden apples in silver boxes. In other words, that Yehuda approached him with words that had, as a silver box, has something also deeper in there. Right? There is something yet, as we would say in English, there is more to it. And therefore, Yehuda, in this first psychological approach, he literally pressed Yosef. He kind of like spoke to him, but there was a deeper meaning, and as Onkelos translates, that these golden apples in silver boxes means the right word at the right time. Now, the next approach was that Yehuda literally wanted to know what is in Yosef's mind. Huh? In other words, he kind of like said, Vayigash elav Yehuda, let me see what you think. This is also an approach. Now, the last approach of the Midrash is really the most fascinating, because the Midrash starts with saying Ma'aseh avot siman lebanim, which means what?
Like what the fathers do, like reflects on their children.
Correct. And let's see what was here this idea. Rav Yehuda, Rav Nehemiah, and Chachamim are discussing what was Vayigash. So Rav Yehuda says he approached him lamilchama, for war. It doesn't matter if the war would have been physical or psychological, but he was resolute to approach him in this very stark way. then Rav Nehemiah says that he kind of like approached him with soft words. He wanted to persuade him, as with giving presents almost. And then the third approach, that's Chachamim, is that he approached him in what way, do you think?
Like with prayer almost.
Oh, almost with prayer. That's correct. And do you remember where before in the Torah we have seen that someone was trying to approach someone else through actually milchama, to prepare for fight, to send him gifts, and to pray? Who was that?
It was Yaakov when he was going to go fight Esau.
Exactly. And this is we really coming to the point of what is chokhmah. Chokhmah is when you are capable to see something from multiple points of view. It's almost kind of like a poetical way of thinking. Poetry and chokhmah, or as we say, lev and chokhmah and moach. And this is what this first word in today's parsha is according to the Midrash. This manifolded way of approaching. So we would now like to wish you
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.